you're being condescending. You've been warned, alright? Let's move forward amicably.
Okay, well, check this out, though. First of all, you throwing too many big words at me. Okay, now, because I don't understand them, I'm going to take them as disrespect. Watch your mouth and help me with the sale.
Okay, see, now you found yourself a nigga. You looking for a nigga? Nigga here now, see?
My mind is so spectacular. Open up your aperture. You don't like the light that I be shining, bitch. You Dracula. Southern draw vernacular. Flip you like a spatula. Knew that I was built to put this word up on my scapula. I've been on this road so long, my tires bald. I don't wanna text and no, I don't wanna call. Came in this shit running, but you don't know how to crawl. We ain't never folding, I'm holding the highest card. Look, okay, grew up running post routes. Now I'm on the cash route. Better call the plumber, that boy spitting like a bass spout. All these bad women in this club, fuck is you mad about? Word to all my estheticians, boy, I'm about to lash out. Straight from St. John's to the east side, jigging since the knee high. Watch the way I put on for my state, nigga, yeehaw. Respecting no Aretha, crazy how I made it to the league from the bleach eyes. Boy, my shit hair on, black, rich, and bare arms. Smoking on that yogi, this shit stronger than some bare arms. Goku, I'm in rare form, you cannot prepare for him. When I swing, it's like a carnivore, this shit ain't fair for him. Brought intellect back to this rap shit, you niggas need chapstick. Ship and dry for way too long, and I'm the matchstick. You niggas Nickelodeon me, I'm more like Cap Nick. Cap a nigga, throw him in front of me. Party favors on the table, you can pick and choose. I would be lying if I said that I don't get confused. I'm just a player in the game and I don't pick the rules. Why trouble always seem to find the ones with shit to lose. About to blow like we just lit the fuse. We double dutch into this dough, I get this shit in twos. Push the button, get it started, put that shit in cruise. A little dust up on his heart, I barely get to use. A fool flatters himself, a wise man flatters a fool. Man, I just came to get it started like mechanics with tools. Cause in my hood, if you don't pack a tool, you planning to lose. These young boys deserve Oscars, they be acting a fool. A couple loose screws, but they hammer accurate. Ooh, I know some niggas stuck on drugs and manufacture it too. School of hard knocks, we all got our bachelor's. Food, no cap and gowns, but we all had to master. Party favors on the table, you can pick and choose. I would be lying if I said that I don't get confused. I'm just a player in the game and I don't pick the rules. Why trouble always seem to find the ones with shit to lose. I'm lit, it's about to be a late night. Fresh wax, shawty, show me what it tastes like. Niggas know me in my city like I'm Wayne Wright. Got them looking up to me and we the same height. Ooh, I got it bad, deep in my bag. Foot on the gas, they cannot last. Swimming with the sharks, bitch, that's a great white. Never stopping, we don't even need no brake lights. Say she don't smoke, but she always smoke with me, yeah. Back with Finny, yeah, back up in the ovaries, yeah. All my ops, they stay running like they over easy. Even my masseuses can't just get too close to me, yeah. Shout out to Next, soon as the ink dry, we count out the checks, yeah. I never flex, I bought up a business, you bought up a section. I'm at the top of my class, yeah. Y'all never learned from your lessons. Skywalker gave me the force, yeah. Turn this into an obsession, yeah. I couldn't wait on the team, cooking shit up with just me run play, yeah. Things never are what they seem, but we know the facts, yeah. Charging that shit to the game, but now I pull up with a battery pack, yeah. The bigger they are, the harder they fall, and we can just leave it at that. I'm dumb lit, it's about to be a late night. Fresh wax, shawty, show me what it tastes like. Niggas know me in my city like I'm Wayne Wright. Got them looking up to me and we the same height. Ooh, I got it bad, deep in my bag. Foot on the gas, they cannot last. Swimming with the sharks, bitch, that's a great white. Never stopping, we don't even need no brake lights. Big bro, why they call you big bro? Every time we hit the bank, we deposit zip codes. Well connected with the streets like we out in Skid Row.
Yo, what's good, everybody? Welcome to the Pull-Up Show. I'm your host, Mr. BJ Matthews, aka B Jizzle. Before we get started, follow us on the YouTube page, the Pull-Up Basketball Podcast. Like, share, subscribe, all of our YouTube videos. Hit that like button, y'all coming in here to share, subscribe as well. Hit that Cash App, $ Slick Rick 1991 son. And our Venmo is BJ Matthews /1. You know what I'm saying? That's our Venmo. If you guys want to donate to the Pull-Up Basketball Podcast, make sure you guys donate those two ways as well. You guys can go to our super stickers and super comments that are available. It's very, very simple. All you guys got to do, hit that $ symbol right there in the bottom of the chat box. You guys can donate that way as well. But happy Thanksgiving to everybody on the pull-up show, pull-up family. Definitely appreciate y'all coming in, man. I know everybody up probably, you know, with their family, enjoying some time, but I wanted to get this out here, man, to talk a little bit about, you know, what happened last night. And everybody want to come on the panel, you guys are free to come on. So, but you know, everybody, make sure you guys smash the like button as y'all come in here, man. This is definitely a good episode for y'all to come in and tune into. But you know, I want to kind of talk about what happened last night very briefly between the Clippers and the Wizards as we move to 12-8 right into the season. Right now, we are 12-8 over the Washington Wizards, and we got a chance to, you know, prevail on a big historic night by James Harden. We're going to talk to y'all about in a minute. Corey Bucket, he said 40 bucket for the beard. Yeah, 43, which we're going to talk about James Harden in a minute. But you know, yesterday was a game that I expected us to win just off the fact that, you know, us, you know, playing the way we play against the Boston Celtics and the Washington Wizards being a team in the Eastern Conference that's not really competitive. That's a game that we definitely had to, you know, pretty much get in and get out. Kind of like the Philadelphia 76er game. We were able to prevail and beat them pretty badly, and we got a chance to get the guys some rest. So hopefully this time when we get guys some rest and talk about the Washington Wizards, that we can actually prevail against the Minnesota Timberwolves coming up. Here very soon. But let's get into the game, what happened last night, and talk to y'all a little bit about the performances of James Harden as well. I'm going to talk to y'all about that. But the Clippers prevailed 123-96, or I'm sorry, 121-96 against the Washington Wizards in our nation's capital. The Wizards are not a competitive team at all. They should be pretty much, they should sell their team, honestly. There's nothing out there as far as, you know, the basketball, you know, basketball vicinity, but you know, they're still part of the NBA, so we gotta count it. But we moved to 12-8, and they are 2-15 right now. So let's go strictly into the stats real quick. Let y'all see what happened. Right, stats between the Clippers and the Wizards. Basically, as y'all can see, outside of the free throw percentage, we pretty much got them in every category. Rebounds, assists, steals, blocks were even. Turnovers, we had less turnovers than they did, and we led the lead by 33 points. They never led the game at all with 0. So we basically dominated every single category inside out. From what happened to us against the Boston Celtics, we dominated every single category against this team, against the Wizards. So we did what we're supposed to do, coming out there, taking care of business early and often. James Harden had 23 points in the first quarter, so he had half of his points in one quarter. I think he hit, 4 threes in the first quarter as well. So, you know, James Harden came in feeling very, very good. You know, they pretty much allowed him to run the show. Very similar to the game against the Indiana Pacers just last year. That he basically prevailed the way he prevailed in the nation's capital. So that takes care of the team stats. The Clippers dominated every single category outside of the free throw percentage shooting. And we're going to go into now the team stats from the players. And even if I look at the Washington team, there's only like 3 guys I really, you know, kind of actually look at. Actually 4, you know, Alex Sarr, Kyle Kuzma, Malcolm Brogdon, and Jordan Poole. Those only 5 guys you can look at are actually, you know, people even know on his roster. The rest of these dudes are basically probably call-ups and G League players and mid-level dudes that, you know, just want an opportunity to play. And I don't know when the Wizards are going to finally snap out of it. And actually, I don't know what they need to do to be competitive. You know, hopefully they get another draft pick coming up here soon. But that team is pretty bad. It's pretty bad. So outside of James Harden, you had Ivica Zubac having his 18 points, 11 shots, 16 rebounds, dominated his matchup the way he needs to be dominating his matchup. So it was really the Ivica Zubac coming in, and then off the bench, you had Jordan Miller and Bones Hyland. And this was a good opportunity for players who don't really play to get some burn and get some run on the court. You know, Bones Hyland had 10 points in 8 minutes, 3 for 6 from the field, from the three-point line. And you had Jordan Miller with 20 points or 20 minutes, and he had 15 points as well. I don't want to really go into like really the main guys. I want to talk about some of the role players. Chris Dunn has been struggling the last few games. He's 0 for 2 from the field with 0 points. Now, just recently, Chris Dunn was the guy, the name that people put as saying, okay, he should be the starting guy on the starting lineup. Well, he's been struggling, here as of here late in that position, in that role. And certain people like Chris Dunn, who don't really have a decorated career, um, don't really have much of a resume as far as the NBA. You're dealing with a wild card. You got to talk about Chris Dunn's journey. He came up from the G League. He played for the Clippers G League, not to be mistaken. He got drafted by the Chicago Bulls. He was with the Utah Jazz, two, franchises that have not been very successful as far as winning as of late. Um, he kind of came out the sky. He came out here, through a buyout by Russell Westbrook. Um, and then for him to be put in this position now to be the starter after, coming up the ranks, you guys seeing as of late that he's actually not as productive as of late. Even if you look at some of the games he's been playing offensively, you got against the Boston Celtics and against the Washington Wizards, against the Sacramento Kings, he shot 2 for 11 from the field. He had 5 points, right? You look at Chris Dunn and his kind of his makeup. He's not really built, in my personal opinion, to be a high volume shooter for, duration of the season. He might have a game where he has, a good breakout game here and there, but he's not built to have. He's built for the defensive end of the ball. That's what he's really, really built for. So because of that happening, I think, him, logging that time on the court and being quote unquote the starter is going to last only for so long, especially when Kawhi Leonard gets back on that court. As y'all come on here, make sure y'all smash that like button. So Chris Dunn, I don't know what y'all think about him struggling so far, but um, I don't think he's quote unquote going to be the starter much longer. He said the Wizards ain't been decent since Russ. Yeah, hey, check it out. I got something coming about that. Y'all gonna see a video be dropping tomorrow around this time. I'm be talking about that. So Corey, don't give it away for the audience. But yeah, Chris Dunn's been struggling a little bit, and I think what he's basically meant to be is one of our better bench players who's going to come in certain points of the game and give us all out great defense. Sometimes he would be the best defensive player on the floor. My fault, y'all. So that was taking care of Chris Dunn. Now let's go into some of these other players as well on this list. Let's talk about Jordan Miller, because that's the guy that a lot of people are been, really raving about and seeing if you can, crack the rotation. And like I said, I'm just going through the list of players who are worth talking about. Like I said, we know James Harden had 43 points. I'm not going to put too much stock into that based off the fact that, while it was a great performance, while he was able to, score the way he was scoring in that first quarter, I think there's bigger fish we need to talk about because this was a game that was somewhat of a, opportunity for our role players to play and, younger guys and, third stringers and stuff like that. So right now, Jordan Miller's averaging 7.2 points per game, 1.8 rebounds, 1.0 assists, and he's shooting 46% from the field. So pretty good numbers so far from Jordan Miller, scoring the ball and having a pretty good shooting percentage and being quote unquote a guy coming in off the G League. You gotta remember, Jordan Miller ain't no rookie. He may come off as a rookie in the league, but he's 24 years old. He's about to be 25 next year in a couple months. So he's already pretty much what you would call close coming into his prime. So you talk about somebody that played 4 years of college basketball, right? He is somewhat has been seasoned and been able to play for a certain period of time because he's been, in my personal opinion, kind of um, mentored at the college level. Maddox Vasilio said, "I don't think Jordan Miller will play in the play because the experience is a whole different." Yeah, I don't want you to take my words out of my mouth, but I don't think he's gonna play much either. See, I know he wants to play. I know he wants to be out there. I know he even said he wants to. He don't even want to go back to the G League because he says he's ready for the NBA. I know what he says, and I know what his potential could be, but I don't think he's ready for the playoffs as well either. I think that's going to take a certain level of time for that to happen. Um, so I think you're right with that one. But as far as his game and what he does on the court, I think he'll probably need another year under his belt. I think this is a player that they can use for their future because I think he's young enough and I think he's hungry enough and I think he's good enough to be a part of their future plans, just to at least to be developed. I think, with some more experience, more time on the court, some more situations, I think he will get there. I think he has the right mindset, the right attitude. So I think, he will get there. But yeah, as far as Jordan Miller goes, I think he will be with us for, quite some time. And I think, he's set to be some player. I don't know if he's going to be here much longer. Is this guy Bones Hyland? I kind of feel bad for Bones. I ain't gonna lie, because just look at his story, man. He comes from the Denver Nuggets, which was a team he was playing behind Jamal Murray as a point guard. You got to remember, Bones Hyland was drafted. He was actually drafted. He's actually an actual real NBA player. He's been in the league for now. This was his fifth season, right? He was drafted in the 2021 NBA draft in the first round as a 26th pick. He's a real NBA player. He's not some guy that, just look at and just say he just came out. Like, he was actually a real bred NBA player from VCU. He was playing behind Jamal Murray for his first couple of seasons. He comes to the Clippers in the 2023 trade deadline, and he gets the opportunity now to possibly be a part of the rotation, right? Playing behind Russell Westbrook and in company. He's able to be mentored by Russell Westbrook. He had a good playoff game in the playoffs where I think he had 20-something points against the Phoenix Suns. Right? So that was in a playoff game. I think it was in game 4 with Russell Westbrook and Norman Powell as well there. So he's showing you he can be in those positions in those certain situations. So he gets that opportunity. He goes into the next season, which was last year, the start of the season. He has him with the plans of being Russell Westbrook's backup. And then here comes James Harden. And now, since then, Bones Hyland hasn't even been a part of the rotation. He's been the third string point guard ever since. So, and this is kind of the nature of the beast when it comes to the NBA. Sometimes it's just about the opportunities that you get on the court. It might not even be your talent. It may not be how good you are. You're just in a situation where you just can't, come over. You're playing behind two Hall of Famers between Westbrook and James Harden of last year. You're not going to always get the opportunity that you want. Before James Harden came, though, Bones Hyland was killing in the preseason and the first few games of the season. He was very productive. So he's put in a position when they brought James Harden in where Bones Hyland goes to the bench, and he's pretty much buried since then. So now you're seeing Bones Hyland get DMPs and not even taking his warm-up clothes off and, this, that, and the other. And this goes into the mentality of a player for years to come that, am I really that good or do I belong here? Yes, that, and the other. Your confidence is going to waver because it's one thing if you never get the opportunity, never show yourself, and you are not, getting the chance to play. It's a whole nother thing if you got the chance to play and you produce like Bones has produced in the past and just you keep getting put with a bad situation. So I don't think Bones is going to be with us much longer, and I actually hope he is not because I think he needs to be with a team. I think he's ready to be with a team where he actually can, do what he needs to do because he can actually play ball. He's a damn good offensive player. He can score the rock. He's undersized a little bit, but there's certain things he can do on the court, and he's shown it to be. I mean, even last year, hell, I remember when Harden missed a couple games. He missed one against the Chicago Bulls, and it was, Bones Hyland starting, and Russell Westbrook was hurt. Bones Hyland got the start, and we won that game. I think that's when PG had like a damn near perfect game. I think he went like almost perfect from the field. And then you had Kawhi Leonard doing what he was doing on the court as well. And Bones Hyland was the point guard. So I just don't think Bones Hyland, I think he's on the team where he's just going to continuously be put back in the backseat because now you got Jordan Miller. Now you got KPJ that's coming in, in front of him. All these guys who ain't been around, who's getting more of an opportunity than him, where Bones has shown it in the playoffs that he can actually play in this situation. We haven't seen KPJ in the playoffs yet. We ain't seen Jordan Miller in the playoffs yet. So it's a tough thing for him. It's a tough situation, but I don't think he's going to be with us much longer. Let me look at some of these comments. He said Bones hasn't had a real chance over here. Yeah, he had a chance, but he did well. He had a chance, but unfortunately, when the whole James Harden situation came, that's when he went to the back of the line. But it's the same thing with the Denver Nuggets. He felt that he should have been getting more of an opportunity playing behind Jamal Murray. He had 10 points in 7 minutes. It's instant offense. Yeah, somebody told me something. A friend of mine said that Bones just comes in, he just chucks. I was like, well, shit. If I know I'm not going to play much, I might as well just shoot the ball because you're giving me such a short leash. I don't have time to sit back and just wait and let the game come to me. I don't have time for that because you're giving me like 4 or 5 minutes a game. You're not even giving me enough time for me to even be able to show myself. He said, yeah, real talk, 37 points against the healthy Nuggets. I forgot about that game too. He had 37 points against the healthy. He had, I think, 40 points against the Suns in the season last year. The kid can play ball. He can play. It's just that he's not getting the time. And when you keep having performances like this and you're not getting the time on the court, that does something to your confidence. Because it's like, damn, what else do I need to do to get an opportunity to stay out here? Because I've shown myself. And you putting guys in front of me who ain't even been on the team as long, like that, you got to feel some type of way about that. That's just human nature. You're going to feel some type of way. And I think the biggest reason why they're putting Bones in, because of his size, I think that's really what it is. I really think that because it can't be his production on the court, because he's shown you that he's been able to come alive in big games. So those are two guys I look at that are worth talking about. James Harden's performance yesterday was definitely magical. 43 points per game, or 43 points in that performance. And, he basically he put on a show in Washington. So, yeah, really much nothing else to talk about. I'm going to go ahead and just drop this link for y'all. I know people got their families they want to get to, but I wanted to put this out here, man, because I'm going to get, some food too. Give me a plate here pretty soon. I got to take a shower and get up out of here. But I want to give y'all a chance to, talk some Clipper basketball while we, got some time. He said real minutes, Bones, and garbage minutes. Bones are two different players. Yeah, that's anybody, bro. Like when you pushing for time on the court and you're not getting an opportunity to play, and you're not gonna get an opportunity to play, that in itself puts you in a light where I can't even play. I can't even be myself. I can't even be relaxed. He said, and the sad thing is, if Bones was playing like KPJ, he would have been mentioned. Yeah, and see, and let me go to KPJ real quick. I want to talk to y'all about KPJ because I think he's something to talk about as well. KPJ is averaging 8 points per game, 3.4 rebounds, 2.8 assists, and shooting 40% from the field. Now, let's establish something with KPJ. What did KP? He had 4 points yesterday. He played 25. He played essentially the whole damn game almost. He played 25 minutes to Bones' 8, and he only had 4 points to show for it. I'm sorry. There's certain things that he says KPJ getting good enough to play over Bones. I'm gonna get into that right now because this is where opportunities come to light. This is where opportunities come into light. First off, KPJ came onto the team. I want y'all to understand something. And this is just a fact. Steve Ballmer and KPJ have ties together, believe it or not. Steve Ballmer's from Seattle. KPJ's from Seattle. KPJ played with Steve Ballmer's grandson or son, one of the two, on their basketball team. Because you got to remember and ask yourself, this guy is coming off of a serious domestic violence situation, which I don't believe personally that whole situation was true about him, beating up on that woman, whatever. I don't think that was true. I think that was just all stuff that was made up, but that's another story. But it's a situation that's uncomfortable, and he gets an opportunity out the gate to be the backup point guard behind James Harden. Meanwhile, you got Bones Hyland sitting there on the bench, who's been with the team. This is now going on his second season, and he's shown you game after game and situations that you put him in that he's actually been prevailing, and you got him on the bench. There's some political stuff there, and that's what goes into basketball too, is politics. Anything you go up high in any situation, any profession you go up in, you're gonna have politics. Because if you look at what this dude, I'm gonna put it right here in the comments. Swervo said. He said the sad thing is if Bones was playing like KPJ, he would have been benched. That's a fact. KPJ has a long leash where he can make mistakes and be comfortable. So there's really no reason to stress. And you're gonna tend to, play more you're gonna play more less pressure. So you give KPJ more time to play. I mean, outside of the size, what does KPJ do better than Bones Hyland? He's not a better ball handler. He's not a better shooter. He's better on defense. I think better on defense because of his length. But as far as just generating baskets and scoring the ball and Bones Hyland, shit, man. Again, show me the game. If you take James Harden off the court, I want to see this. I want to see James Harden off the court and KPJ having the rock, having the game for the entirety of the game. I want to see if he can drop 40 points. I want to see if he can drop 37 points. I want to see if he can drop 25 points in the playoff. I want to see that. Can he drop 4 3-pointers in a game? Can he do that? I ain't seen it. And this is a month he's been playing. We're still looking at KPJ as like, is he gonna get it together? Vice versa, guy in Bones Hyland, who he's already ready to play, but when you keep being benched and you can't get on the court, it's very tough for you to stay mentally locked in because you're constantly getting put to the back of the line. It's a tough thing for somebody like KPJ to deal with. He said, "Damn, that's crazy." Yeah, that's that. I mean, that's the political. That's the game, though, bro. That's how it goes. If you quote unquote have some type of connection with certain people and certain players and people in the organization, you will get the upper hand. There ain't no doubt about it. You will get the upper hand. That's just how it goes. That's how it's always gonna go. So see if I got some more questions or y'all want to come in here, let me know. If not, I'm gonna go ahead and shut the stream. I was kind of a little skeptical about doing this stream because I knew people probably would be with their families, but I wanted to get this out here because maybe people would be relaxing and listen to the podcast and be like, oh yeah, I like what he's talking about. I'm gonna jump on. But you see, it's our schedule. If we pull up the schedule real quick, I'm gonna pull up this schedule with the Clippers so y'all can kind of see what we got next. We got Minnesota coming up next on Friday, who's actually struggling with themselves. They're 8-10, so that's a winnable game. Then next week we got Denver coming up. So that's gonna be the return of Russell Westbrook coming home. We got Portland, we got Minnesota, we got Houston, all 4-game home stint that we got amongst them 4 teams. And I'm gonna pull this up so y'all can see right here for yourself. So You got Minnesota coming up on Friday, which is tomorrow. They're struggling. You got Denver coming up on Sunday. You got Portland, Minnesota, and then Houston all at home. Right? Oh, we got Bruce right here. What's good, Bruce?
What's up, BJ? Happy Thanksgiving.
Oh, happy Thanksgiving, my brother. How you?
I'm all right. I'm on my way to Thanksgiving dinner. My mother already called me. Hey, where are you? So I had to. I was doing backyard thing. I had to cut it short, and I turn on my phone and I see the notification that you are on, and I come in. And I know the Clippers play last night, but I didn't watch because I know the Wizards are trash. Oh, I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that. The Wizards are bad. So, but I see that James Harden had a good game. Yes.
Well, let me ask you this question: where are the players that you kind of looking at like could possibly be gone, or anybody on the roster that you see that can not be here at the trade deadline, or do you see anybody at all?
Last time I was on. I think I suggested that, and I think I asked, is Terrence Mann gonna be traded? But I know you and some other people said you don't think so. But I don't know. You talking about KPJ, Terrence Mann? Man, I mean PJ Tucker, KPJ, Terrence Mann, PJ Tucker. I don't know. I don't know if other team wants Batum, and I think the Clippers needs Batum because he can comes up clutch. Yeah, that I think some of those people they need them. I don't know Bones. I think Bones. I would trust Bones more than KPJ. I don't know why Tyler doesn't play him. Maybe he lacks something. Some players they vibe with coaches. Some coaches like them. Some coaches don't. But to me, KPJ is expendable. I don't see it. It's too early for me to say. I usually wait until 20, 25 games to see. But as much as people say it's a new NBA, I think you need size in the playoffs. So I think those players here, like Brown and Kai Jones, I think they should stay. They're long on the team, especially when you're dealing with other teams to grab rebounds, because rebounds in the playoff is very, very, very important. Clippers have a decent roster. You just need the main guy to be back. Because I'm watching the West, it's up and down. I watched OKC last night. There's no way OKC can beat the Clippers if Kawhi is there. Even if Kawhi is not there, if Clippers play the right way, they could beat OKC. OKC is not as good as people think, in my opinion. I know. Chet is not playing, but I still believe that Clippers can beat OKC with Kawhi.
Now, see, when I say they're not a playoff team, oh, you don't know what you're talking about.
Who? The Clippers?
Yeah.
I mean,
OKC. I was like, OKC is not a playoff team.
OKC is okay, but they're not the juggernaut like people say. Like I thought they were gonna be the number one team, like go explode and whatever. I think last year, SGA was playing better, in my opinion. But I think it's kind of early right now. Still, in some ways, they miss that Australian guy.
Oh, Josh Giddey.
Yeah.
What do you think they miss about him?
Because I think he's better playmaker than what they have on the team right now. You know, he has size, grab rebounds, play make. The only issue is he couldn't shoot.
Mm.
That's why he was exposed in the playoff. In the playoff, you have to score. He's like the Australian. Well, Ben Simmons is Australian too. He's like another Ben Simmons. Yeah. So OKC, I'm not afraid. If I'm on a team, I'm the Clippers. I'm not afraid of OKC. They can be beat easily, easily, man.
Yeah, I never looked at OKC. I mean, it's like if you got experience and you got somebody that can offset uh Chet, that's why I think they picked up Hardenstein for size. I mean, you can beat them. They're a system team to me personally.
I mean, Lou Dort. I don't know. Maybe it's early. Still early. He's not playing well to me. Caruso is already always hurt. He's hurt again. So I don't know.
Yeah, I
I
think
mean, there's not a scary team in the West, man. Clippers is in it. I mean, Nuggets are in trouble in my opinion. Jamal Murray is not the same player. So
that's another thing. Westbrook's out playing him.
yes,
Who would have thought that?
well, I'm not a big fan of Westbrook, but you're not gonna hear me bash Westbrook. I haven't bashed Westbrook in a long time because if you're doing well, I'm not gonna talk about you.
Hmm.
But
All right,
the Clippers just need consistent scoring and James Harden not to be on the ball too much.
right. Let's go to JM, and we're gonna go to Tree Sweezy after. What's good, JM?
Hey, what up? Pull up. What up? Bruce.
Right. Hey, T Sweezy, mute your mic. Go ahead, JM.
Salute everybody. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody on the panel and everybody. Just to piggyback off what y'all just said, Russ is a perfect example of what I mean. Being on a team where coaching matters. You know,
Mm.
everybody wrote Russ off. You know, they wrote him off with the Lakers. They kind of wrote him. You know, he kind of fell backward for our team and sacrificed. And now he go to a better coach team and he is thriving. See, coaching does matter. It's like not like PlayStation, but I ain't gonna harp on that too much. And back to Harden. I do not like Harden's style whatsoever. Like it's becoming apparently clear that he is on his own mission. Like literally, he is not the answer. And is I'm actually I remember I used to argue with Miles, not argue with Miles, but you know I used to support Harden when Miles used to come up here, Mr. Miles. He used to always say that Harden's gonna let you down. He used to always say, I like, nah, you know, Harden this there, he's a good point guard. Harden we have a bottom five offense. This best way I can explain this. Our offense is bottom five. Who the heck is running our offense? You got Harden, and then I ain't gonna say the coach word. I'm not even gonna say it. Like
Hmm.
he does not make to me an impact. Like against the Wizards. Okay, now I'm catching up. My fault. Now against the Wizards. Yeah, he had 41 points. He had a monster game against them. They were nobodies. I would much rather him had that kind of game when we played the Celtics. I really would have. Like for him to beat the Wizards, for us to beat the Wizards, fan anybody could beat the Wizards. A high school team could have beat the Wizards. Like that. That wasn't. It's a win. It's a win. You know, we needed a win. We need any kind of win, bad, ugly, good, whatever. But For him to come out through 41 points against the Wizards, and I actually tweeted him like, "Fam, why you do that against the Celtics? We need you. Why you do that against Houston? That's not going to help us win. That was not impressive to me. He showed out against a high school team. That's not. I really think he disrupted the offense, and I really, really, truly believe that when Kawhi come back, it's going to be a problem because who is Kawhi going to defer to? Harden. Harden is not going to like becoming the role player because he is so much of his own person that I don't think this. I don't actually think it's going to work. I really don't. Going forward, I don't. I'm gonna close it up with this. I'm gonna close it up when Kawhi comes back. Everybody want Kawhi come back. I truly do not see him and Harden vibing, and I'm actually beginning to understand why Paul George said he didn't like playing with Harden, and that's what Paul George left. Like Harden is like a virus. His whole system is not good. Once again, we got the bottom five offense. He can't score against a real team, but he hit 41 points against a high school team. I'm just not a fan of his. It still go Clippers, but it still go back to Ty Lue. And I didn't even want to say that word, but like we gotta fix. If we don't fix our offense, we're not gonna make. We're gonna make the playoffs. We're gonna make it, but we're gonna get swept in the first round. And Kawhi is not gonna be able to handle everything. So that whole concept of when Kawhi get back, fam, he's not five people. He's one person. So we got anyway. It's a good win. We still need to win, and that's the only thing I see good about it. We won. That's about it. Happy Thanksgiving. Next caller.
Appreciate you, JM, for coming in. Let's go to Skills. What's good, Skills?
What's up, fellas? What's up, fellas? How y'all doing, man?
What's up, bro? Happy Thanksgiving.
Man, happy Thanksgiving, man. Happy Thanksgiving. Hey, man, so I'm going to keep it short and sweet because I got family members starting to pile in. But I just want to say, man, it's a good time to be a Clippers fan, man. Like, I've been impressed with this team since the preseason, specifically because I like what I was seeing on defense. It was a noticeable difference to me, and I've been watching them for the last 5 years. It was a noticeable difference to me, just the pride they took in defense, communication. I can definitely see the Jeff Van Gundy effect immediately, and it transferred over from preseason into the regular season. As far as trades, honestly, I'm not entertaining any trade right now. The only trade that I entertain is possibly getting off Kevin Porter Jr., and obviously I'll be cool with getting off PJ Tucker and maybe like a Kobe Brown. But everybody else, I'm keeping. I don't see the need. We big at the center position. We got plenty of forwards. We got forwards that know their roles, love playing defense. Like, for example, Derrick Jones Jr., on a day, night to night, he never have to wonder what his role is. You know what his role is. His role is to check the best offensive player on the other team, hit the open three, look for the pass, don't get lost in transition. He know what his role was. And I just feel like teams in the past, their roles could change on a night-to-night basis. So it just caused a lot of confusion. As far as what JM was saying about Kawhi, I think when Kawhi come back, it's going to put us over the top. I was saying last time I was on here that the West wasn't that strong, and people was talking to me like I was crazy. But I'm knowing what I'm saying. Like, the West is not the same that it was last year. Like, these teams are like, just look at the Timberwolves. Timberwolves last year versus the Timberwolves this year. That's a completely different team. They're not even playing with the same intensity. And I'm looking at the OKC, who I perceive to be the best team in the West. Both games that we played against them, they were both competitive. In both games, at some point in the game, we was up by 10 to 15 points. So I don't think they're the world beaters that everybody thinking. The teams that I'm more concerned about, honestly, are teams in the East, Boston and Cleveland. I think those are some solid teams that, we got to be prepared for. But as far as Kawhi and James Harden, we already seen what they look like when they play together. Like, I don't understand saying that they won't work. They definitely will work. And when Kawhi come back, James Harden is going to naturally slide into the number 2 option. He knows what his role is. Like, he knows. He's not confused. And as far as like the team, like I said, I think we deep, man. I don't want to make any moves. I don't want to make any moves that's concerning anybody outside of Karen Porter Jr., old buddy that they sent home, and like I said, maybe a Kobe Jr. But I'm not looking to make no moves. I like the team as is. I want to keep building chemistry and see where we at when the big fella get back.
Okay, good points by both people. If y'all want to come in here, y'all can hit the link. Make sure y'all smash the like button as well. Hit the share, subscribe. We got people coming in on the panel. Talking. We got Thanksgiving, dinner coming up later for y'all, man. But want to get this out here to y'all this morning. But I want to stick on the James Harden, Kawhi thing. So I hear what JM's telling, because at first I thought, okay, Kawhi coming back, everything's gonna be fine. But at the same time, this is why I look at the two-way players as well. When you a two-way player, you can afford to defer your game to the next guy. So we don't need Kawhi deferring to nobody, because at the end of the day, he is the best player. Now he has the ability to defer and say, okay, I'll let somebody else, I'll let Harden, I'll let Norm get off the way they need to get off, because that's what they can really do is play offense. And I'll just focus on the defensive end. But do you really want a team with Kawhi not being the focal point of your offense and not being the guy that's giving you the most shots and scoring the basketball, especially in the playoffs? So that would mean James Harden have to defer to him. So if James Harden is not controlling the offense and the ball's not going through him as the number one option, and he's just passing the ball, he's not a great defender. What else is he going to be doing to the fact that you can afford to have him defer? That's why I kind of see JM's point where he's saying, like, we saw James Harden and Kawhi. We saw it was Kawhi, PG, and then James Harden last year. Harden was the third option. So now that you're moving as a second option as a one-way player, that can cause a little bit of division between those two, because it's like Harden can't do nothing else but score the ball. He has to play a certain way of basketball for him to be effective. So he'll be going down as a role player. Then you're going to be looking at nights, well, shit. Well, Norman Powell looks better than him, or, Kevin Porter. Somebody else is going to be looking better than James Harden at certain nights of the game, because he can't control anything but the offensive end of the ball. So we haven't seen Kawhi and James Harden as the 1-2 punch. We've seen James Harden as a number 3 option, but not the number 1 or number 2. So I don't know if that's what Sam means or what.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I like, wasn't it a couple of games last year where PG was out and we got to see a good healthy dose of Kawhi and Harden, at least about 10 games if I'm not mistaken, and they look fine. They actually look better than, well, statistically they look better than PG and Kawhi together, just from that little small sample size that we saw. And like when Kawhi first come back, like honestly, I don't want him just taking on a massive load when he come back. I would prefer for him to ease himself into the game. Because look, I'm looking at it like this, right? I'm looking at it like, once we got a full squad back and you got Kawhi, you got Derrick Jones Jr., you got Zubac, you got Norm at the 2, and James Harden at the 1, I kind of do want the ball in James Harden's hand, only because, like, for one, I need him to set up the offense. We know where Kawhi want to go. Kawhi want to go to the post, so I would prefer for James Harden to bring the ball up the court and let Kawhi go ahead and get in his spot and let Norm and Derrick Jones Jr. space the floor, have Zoo in the middle. I think that offense will be fine. And when we have all 3 of our elite scorers, and I'm gonna go ahead and say 4, because I'm gonna go ahead and put Zubac in that category as well. So when you have all 4 of them on the floor, and then you have one of them in Kawhi that's demanding the double team once he gets up to speed, I feel like the offense is gonna get the clicking immediately. I don't think it's gonna take that long. And I think the defense is going to be at an all-time level. Like even right now with Norm being out, I think the defense is better now. The team is not better without Norm, but I think the defense is better without Norm. Like when you put Amir Coffey in this team, that's why every game that we've played in the last week or so, we immediately go up by 10. It's because the defense is so smothering. When you have Amir Coffey, Derrick Jones Jr., and Zubac, man, that's a lot to overcome, because you got to get past Amir Coffey, you got to get past Derrick Jones Jr., and then when you actually do get to the rim, you got to try to score over Zubac, which is not easy to do. So I'm thinking you swap Amir Coffey with Kawhi, the defense goes on another level, and then you add a Norm back in there. I think this team is going to be A-okay. That's just my honest opinion.
So last year, if I look at what happened, so Kawhi with James Harden, he averaged 16 points per game, and he averaged 8 assists, and he averaged what 2.6. What he averaged 2.6 turnovers and 5.1 rebounds. So he averaged 16 points per game last year. That's what he averaged with the Clippers. So he was the third option. You had PG averaging 22 points per game. It was clear who
So,
was the it was clear who was the second option on that team.
oh, for sure. I mean, I'm not arguing when all three of them were on the floor who was the second option. PG was definitely the second option. There's no debate about that. I'm just saying once we get Norm and Kawhi back in the lineup, okay, Norm can still give us the 22 points that PG was given. He's proven that.
I don't
I
I
probably
don't know about the season, those skills. This is
so,
only the season. You asking Norm to do that for an entire season. That has remained to be seen. And the defensive side, Norm can't bring the defense that PG brought on the defensive side for it. It's one thing for you to do it for a stretch, but you talking about we only 15 games into the season. That total is going to go down even when Kawhi gets back on the court. He ain't going to be giving you 22 points for an entire season. He ain't going to be giving you that defense for the entire season. That's a whole different schedule. Like, you had a case for last year, PG could have been all NBA third team.
I mean, I agree with you. So let me ask you this then. So I agree with you on the defensive end, possibly, but do you think it's harder for Norm to score now when the scouting reports are all catered in on him, or you think it's going to be easier for him to score when all of the scouting reports are catered in on Kawhi? Which scenario you think is going to be easier for him to score in?
Well, it's going to be easier for him to score once the attention's on Kawhi, but he's not going to be dropping 22 points because the shots are going to be going to Kawhi now. It's not going to be enough shots for Norm to get you 22 points per game. Somebody's going to have to sacrifice their game. When Kawhi gets back 100%, Norm is not going to be scoring on 22 points per game. The difference is last year, whether Kawhi's on the court or not, Paul George is still going to give you 20 to 25 points per game.
Okay, so let me ask you this. How was he giving you those points? Off catch and shoots, off mid-ranges? I mean, I feel like that's what Norm going to do, off catch and shoots. Because, I mean, once Kawhi comes back, and like I said, this was proven last year and the year before, he demands the double team. You have to double team him in the mid post. There is no one-on-one. I don't care who you put down there. You put a one-on-one down there in the post with Kawhi, they're gonna get scorched every time. You have to demand the double team. So if that leaves Norm open at the three, or that leaves a Derrick Jones Jr. or even James Harden at the three, because here's the thing though, because you could be right, BJ. Let's say hypothetically you're right. You could be right, and Norm can't continuously score 22 points. But that's why I like the makeup of the team, because he might not necessarily have to score 22 points. If I can get 10 to 15 from him, if I can get 10 to 15 from Amir Coffey, if I can get 10 from Christopher Dunn, if I can get 10 from Derrick Jones Jr., I mean, or Nico get hot and give me 2 or 3 threes. That's by committee. And that's what I'm liking about the team so far. That's what I'm liking about it more so than the years past. It's not just necessarily all ISO ball until James Harden, sometimes want to do ISO. But I've been liking the fact that T. Lue will be quick to call the timeout. Hey, I want you to start running my offense. Stop doing so much ISO. But I like the fact that it's by committee. And you could be right. Norm could not score 22 points or average 22 points for the rest of the season. But that's why I like the way the team is engineered, because he won't have to.
Well, can I throw a quick curveball in real quick? One quick curveball. All of that would be cool. Everything y'all said, BJ was saying right, and you I didn't get your name, but you saying right. But see, the problem is Harden not came to the point where this is actually his team. He talks to the reporters like this is team. He talks to reporters like this is team. He answers questions like it's actually his team. That's where he's butting heads with Ty Lue. Okay, Ty Lue already starting to figure out like, yo, this dude is becoming a monster, right? He came here to help. He got excuse me. Harden came here to be a role player, right? But you give him a year without Paul George, a year without Kawhi. So Harden now became the system. See, it's going to be an ego problem with Harden. Powell, Kawhi, and then you got this one dude who's called himself Uno. That is going to be the problem. Powell is going to definitely get his shots reduced because he has another scorer. It's not going to be Powell's fault, but if Kawhi going to be on the floor, he could score too. So that's all by design. That's going to happen. That's in the nature of things. So Paul's shots will fall off. They will. He going to make them, and then a scouting report. If we keep running ISO, even when Kawhi come back, Powell's going to have a problem against any coach team. Any team with a good coach, Powell will have the exact same problem. It doesn't matter Kawhi on the court or not. The only thing that's going to benefit Powell is what BG said. Like Kawhi's going, or you said Kawhi going to command double team, so that's going to free him up. But still, with ISO, Powell's still going to run the only two plays he knows how to play. He curled to the middle and he shoot a corner three from the left side. That's his only skill. So it's not going to be hard to stop Powell. It's not at
I mean,
all.
I get what you're saying, JM, but I have to go off what you've done for me lately, and what Powell has done for me lately. He has made a believer out of me. Because, like I said, I wouldn't have been even making this argument for Powell.
Okay, well, I'm about to finish. I'm gonna sum it all up, and then you jump in. I've been watching Powell since he's a Raptor. He never started for the Raptors. There's a reason. He wasn't even a starter on the Raptors team that won a ring. He came off the bench. He is actually better coming off the bench, making him a focal scorer. It puts too much pressure. It puts the extra. I'm not saying he can't do it, but his style is so basic that, man, a high school team could check him. Literally. Yeah, he's scoring now. He's a natural scorer. He always could score. It's never been a problem. But it's a liability for him on defense, right? Because he's not really that good at it. And he only has two basic moves. So even with Kawhi demanding a double team, one player could shut Powell down. Just like you know what I'm saying? If he played the Celtics, any one of them could have shut Powell down by themselves. Because he just has a you could just guess where he's gonna go. It ain't like you gotta really put his hand up in the face or nothing. You could literally figure out where he's gonna go. To the corner or to the middle. That's it. He doesn't go no place else, and he always goes with his one side left-sided. Always. That's easy to figure out. So I'm gonna cancel out Powell. Right? I say it's gonna be a problem with Harden and Kawhi because Harden ego not got in the way. That's gonna be the problem. Harden was good with PG was the buffer. There's three of them. Now there's just two, and now there's one who's been running the team the entire time. So when Kawhi come back, I think it's gonna be hard for Harden to defer to a number two. Harden not became, and I'm gonna leave with this. I'm close with this. I know that a lot of people want to talk. Harden not became so much of a monster that Ty Lue actually got to pull him out the game. That's it. I don't think it's gonna work.
Too. That's another thing too. Like, see, with one-way players, they can be played off the court. Like, there's games where I'm like, damn, what's like it's either Harden gonna be doing something like, oh, he's look at Harden, he's doing these posts, and it's gonna be games like, damn, like his shot ain't falling, ain't getting the foul calls, and he ain't playing deep. It's like he's a liability on the court. So sometimes you might have to put other players in by committee for Harden. So I'm just like I said with JM's point, he said like he don't know how Harden and Kawhi gonna come together. That remains to be seen because now you don't have another second option now because Harden had the easiest job last year to play make and score. He had the easiest job. Now you're going to get more attention on offense and defense when you got Kawhi now as the number one option back, and he's still gonna need time to get back on the court. And your system is not going to be on top. It's going to be Kawhi's system now if we want to win, because Kawhi's system has proven to win a championship. So you're going to go with that over Harden's system, because it's like Harden's system is basically high usage. He controls the offense. He controls the ball. So we ain't seen it yet.
So this is what I'm gonna say to JM. And to you, what y'all saying, I get what y'all saying, but at the end of the day, we got to deal in reality. Right now, the reality is this is James Harden team. Currently, right now, this is his team. So he can have the pride, he can do all that, but it's gonna be hard to be prideful when somebody is clearly better than you. When Kawhi come back, he's gonna be a better player than James Harden. He's not going to have a choice but to concede. And another reason why I know he's going to have to concede is because anytime you listen to Ty Lue make reference to Kawhi, he always say our best player. He's our best player. When our best player come back, it's going to be hard to do this without our best player, our best player, our best player. So as long as the coach understands who the best player is, I don't care what James Harden have in his ball. And that's all that matters to me. I can care less what James Harden thinking about as long as the coach understands what the clear pecking order is. And when James Harden getting out of line, I got to go with what I've seen this season. And what I've seen this season is T. Lue is not scared to yank him out the game immediately. Set him down, let us get his mind right. As long as that's the mindset, I think we'll be fine. I mean, we could start the narrative that they're not going to be able to coexist, but I don't really see not one reason why they wouldn't be able to coexist. The goal is a championship. That's the only thing James Harden haven't done is a championship. And I think he wants to get a championship.
Okay, so let me ask you this one question, Skills. Let me ask you one question. So what's James Harden's strongest suit? Like, what's the thing that he does best?
I'm gonna say assists. I'm gonna say vision on the floor. I'm gonna say assists, getting other teammates involved, which he's been doing a good job of this season.
Okay, so I do believe he gonna know that Kawhi's the best player. I'm not denying that. So if we can all agree that it's gonna be Kawhi's team and he's gonna be through his system, he's gonna get the majority of the shots. He's gonna get the ball the most of the time. What else is James Harden gonna be doing on the court if he knows he's not going to get the most shots and he's not going to be controlling the offense?
I mean, he can get the second most shots. I think he'll be okay with that. Like, I think he'll be okay with, for example, when we look at him in Brooklyn, when he understood what the pecking order was, it's hard for him to look at a KD and be like, I should be getting more shots than KD. Just like it's hard for him to look at a Kyrie Irving and be like, I should be getting more shots than Kyrie Irving. So he naturally fell into that third option position. Same thing when he first came to the Clippers. It's hard for him to look at a Kawhi who's been dominant on both sides and make a strong argument that I should be getting more shots than him. Same thing he saw when he looked at PG. So he naturally fell into the third position role. I don't think this is the James Harden from Houston. He being that James Harden right now because he has no choice but to be. But I don't think he wants to carry a load like that. Why would you want to carry a load like that when you got a guy on your team that you know can get you to the promised land? He's done it multiple times. You with his own two eyes, what it's like when Kawhi kick into that mode. I don't think that's going to be an issue. And like I said, if it does become an issue, the beautiful thing about the way this team is constructed now, we can sit his ass down and put 2 or 3 players in there that can fill his role, fill whatever it was that he was doing. So that's one of the main reasons why I'm not so concerned. Now, if we didn't have anything coming out the bench, we didn't have players that we could substitute in for him when he get to making bonehead moves, I would be got to do trade line, but at the deadline. But the way this team is right now, I think we good, man. I actually think Kawhi just gonna put us over the top.
So you said second. You said second option. You said Harden will be the second option on this team, right? When Kawhi gets back,
he could fluctuate between the second or third option. I think primarily he'll be the second, but I would prefer for Zoo to be the second. If I'm being real, I would prefer for Zoo to be the second option. But I'm cool with James Harden fluctuating between the 2 and the 3.
Okay, go ahead, JM. You got it.
But hey, I'm finna hop out, man. Y'all boys have a good holidays, man. I'll talk to y'all later.
All right, Skills.
Well, just to piggyback on that and leave that alone. There was never a question that I never questioned that our team not going to make it. I just seen a personnel issue when the boss come back and you got somebody who's been running the company and they've been in the boss. So that's what I meant about that. Like we got, it's going to be an issue from the beginning, but like, I do agree with him, and you too. It's going to have to work its way out. They ain't going unless Harden get traded. That's the only way. If Kawhi come back before the trade deadline, which is in next month. If he come back for the trade deadline and it sees that it doesn't work, and Harden is still once again running a bottom five offense, like our offense ain't good. We the bottom five, so Harden is really not that impactful. And actually, we could actually trade Harden and put Chris Dunn at the point guard for real, or put KPJ. That's a good point he made. Yeah, we got enough players that we could actually substitute what Harden does. Any liability. So Harden is actually expendable. Honestly, real quick, Bruce. I know it's you coming. And last thing, I will honestly, I've been promoting this stuff on X to the Clippers. Like, yo, I will honestly trade Harden at the trade deadline, pick up 2 more young players for his salary. He get paid $35 million a year. I could get at least 3 players for his one salary, and we can swap him out. He's not impactful. We wouldn't be bottom 5 if he was so impactful. And that's our closer. To me, I actually trade Harden. I actually would a trade deadline. I'll ship him off and get 3 players or 2 players and a freaking pick in the draft next year. But that's all I got to say. Thank you, though.
All right, appreciate you. Go ahead, Bruce.
Yeah, I had a question for you, BJ. When do you think Kawhi is coming back? Have you heard anything?
I'm hearing late December to mid January. But mine was December. That was my first piece of information. But it's coming to basically how the Clippers are doing. Like, I think he will be good enough to return in December. But if they're having a good record where he doesn't have to rush back, then they're gonna give him more time.
Okay. I don't know if he's gonna come back this year, but we'll see. If he comes back December, I will be glad to be wrong. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if James Harden is gonna be traded. I don't know which team was gonna want him. I don't know. I mean, I'm in the I don't know anymore. I'm just gonna wait and see. So. I'm not gonna predict. I decided I'm not gonna predict with the Clippers. So.
Not gonna predict. Okay. Well,
I don't know what's in the comment. I cannot read because I'm driving. So.
Andre said Kawhi will come back in February, in my opinion.
I think I said that.
He said, Caribbean Sniper said, I don't know if you want to trade Harden, who can replace him at the exact moment. That's a question for you, JM.
KPJ, Chris Dunn, we got him on the bench. Chris Dunn is a point guard. KPJ is a point guard. Didn't know that.
So, BJ, you think Chris Dunn is a point guard?
He is a point guard. He's been a point guard every he played that. He's a 2-way player.
Yeah, I think he's somewhat of a point guard.
Okay.
I think he's somewhat of a point guard. Now, he gives the point guard role, but he's not like, he doesn't handle the rock like a point guard, and he's not the quote unquote fast first, but he's like, he's good enough to initiate offense. I just think, again, like, when you got 2 scorers, you don't need a traditional point guard, or you don't need a point guard that you just gotta give him the basketball. Like, that's why I think Tyus Jones is doing with Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. You got two scorers, and you just basically control the offense. You don't turn the ball over, and you just give the ball in their spots. That's really what you need to do when you have two scorers on your team.
Good point. Good
I think
point.
Chris Dunn is in the wrong era. He will do great in the 90s. I don't know about now.
As long as he could pass the ball. The point is to get off of Harden. The question was, can we replace Harden? Yes, we can. Chris Dunn or Kevin Porter Jr. They both would play point guard. They better at playing point guard than Harden. They closer to a point guard than Harden is. Harden is a shooting guard. He admitted that. He admitted himself. They already said that before. He's not a point guard. He's a shooting guard. He basically is an ISO player. He has to keep the ball in his hand. He just happened to be able to pass. So he's Kevin Dunn in reverse. He's like a point guard that also can shoot, like Donovan Mitchell or them. Them are actually point guards who can actually shoot. So they're number one who can play number two. Harden is a number two who can play number one. He's an ISO player. That's why he plays the way he does. That's why our team is bottom five. That's why he always look for his step shot, all them signature shots he do. That's why he's on the list with 3-point shots. Anyway, I'm sorry about the rant. I apologize about the rant.
Let me ask you a question. JM. Since you said somebody got an echo. I think that's you, Bruce. I'm gonna mute you real quick. What do you think? How do you feel about Westbrook? Do you think he was a better fit with Kawhi and PG, or do you think James Harden is a better fit? If you never traded for James Harden and you kept Russell Westbrook, how do you feel the team would be?
Yo, that's a real good question. Dan, I'm gonna say if since we stuck with same kind of players, ISO heavy players, I would rather have Russ than Harden because at least Russ gonna make bonehead plays. Sometimes he make them, but he always gonna bring defense. That's the advantage he got over Harden. I think even when they play with OKC, wherever they play on Houston, wherever they play on the same team, I get an edge to Russ. Harden may be a better shooter, maybe more controlled, but Russ got the energy. Russ gonna at least work harder than a bitch. Basically, Russ is my answer. I'll take Russ.
I think I would rather have Westbrook on the team because some players when you have those players on your team, you have the player identity. I think with Ross on the team, the Clippers seems like fearless. Like we're gonna fail, but you're gonna have to beat us, right? I think with Harden, I don't think Harden is a winner. He's a winner, man. I'm sorry. He won a lot of games regular season, whatever. But I don't think he's a winner. You need someone who's gonna battle. I think Harden is a quitter. Westbrook is not a quitter. So his only issue is the issues are the turnovers and the shooting. And so far this year, his shooting has been okay. So I think I was not a fan when they acquired Harden. I think Westbrook was enough. But I'd rather have Westbrook, man. I think even if Westbrook never win a championship, I think he's a winner to me. He has a winning attitude. Harden has a selfish attitude, to me.
The only reason I asked that question is because, people talk about what their offensive rating was, but Kawhi and Russ and Paul George, they had the highest offensive rating when they were that trio. And I always go back to this question: who pulled the trigger on that trade to bring James Harden in? And I'm not saying. Let me just put this out here. I'm not saying James Harden doesn't do good things for the team. I think if you want me to give James Harden this over Russell Westbrook, he's a better outside shooter. I think he's been able to elevate Zubac more, even though I think Zubac was good before Westbrook came because he was in the conference finals without James Harden on the team. I think he has basically elevated Zubac, but Zubac was already good. He had a 30-29 performance over Miles Turner 2 years ago. They didn't have a quote unquote point guard. So to say that James Harden is the only person that elevated Zubac, that's just taking away the type of player Zubac is. He's a good player, but people don't talk about it because they look at him like just a traditional center, but he has been productive. But as far as Westbrook and that trio, they had the highest offensive rating amongst those three players. And I just asked myself, okay, it wasn't just Russ, but Bones Hyland moved down to the bench. All that happened when James Harden came. And now that I've seen Russ over in Denver, a team that people thought Russ was going to mess up that whole chemistry. He's outplaying Jamal Murray right now with less. He's playing literally half the time, and he's outplaying Jamal Murray. And he's shooting better from the field than James Harden this season so far. Nobody wants to mention that either. Russ is shooting better from the field than James Harden from the field. Sometimes it's just about your environment and where you're at on how well you play. You basically move Russell Westbrook out this rotation and put James Harden there that took his position, which is a move that he was clearly against. He didn't want to go to the bench. That in itself, that factors into a lot of stuff that happened in the playoff series. You play them out of position. You can't put James Harden and Russell Westbrook. One is going to have to sacrifice. And I'm with Bruce. I don't think James Harden is going to sacrifice only but so much if it means getting out of his system. Because he can only play one way. He don't play defense. He's not getting the foul calls. He's not going to be as effective. I'm seeing all this stuff now, even with us winning games.
Well, yeah, I did. I just want to say I did. I've been saying I was worried about that for a while now, and now it's becoming physical. You know, Baby Blue seen it already. Ma seen it already. I'm just not finding out, but I've been, like you seeing it. Harden is not the answer. He is hurting our team. He and Ty Lue the one wanted him here. It was Ty. If you notice, every player that we have had recently, they are all the same kind of players. ISO. Even when Russ came, ISO. Ty gets to pick the team. He's been picking all ISO players the entire time. Kawhi is the only one who came here on his own. Kawhi came here like he just came. Like, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't nothing to do with Ty. And I don't even think Ty was the coach. I'm not even sure if Ty was even a coach when Kawhi came. But when everybody else on our team grew up on one system, even Kobe, even Jordan, all of them been under our ISO system their whole time. Every last player that came here been ISO players. Except for Zoo and Terrence been here before Ty came. But they suffered through Doc. Same ISO. So Kawhi is actually the only player that we got that is not an ISO player. He can be, but he's team orientated. He came from the Spurs. He came from the Nick Nurse. Like, he came from a coach who had a system. So anyway, I agree, but it's going to be a problem. And anyway, I hope it. But we got ISO. We got an ISO team with our best player is not an ISO player. Something got to change because you can't keep blaming Kawhi.
I don't see nothing changing the offense. I mean, if you got the coach who's an ISO type of coach, I don't see that changing. I mean, who's gonna? And we lost Chauncey Billups. He was a big intricate piece that people don't give credit to on how we looked on the offensive side of the ball. And we lost him. So who are you going to look at as building the offensive scheming for the rest of the season?
You know the
I
Clippers.
would give, I'd give just one quick answer, Bruce. My quickest answer before we go look for somebody like maybe next season we go look for another coach. I would literally just give any coach on our bench a chance, at least for 10 games. Start with the bench because you got so many. We got like four coaches, right? Well, one, two, three, four, whatever. I would have gave Daniel Craig a chance last year if he stayed. I would have gave Chauncey Billups not doing too good with the Portland Trailblazers, so I would have overskipped him because he's proven that he's just not a coach. Um, I would give the dude that played for the Atlanta Magic. I forget his name. Oh, he's assistant coach. I would give the water boy a chance. Just give somebody else a chance before we go look for somebody else. Let somebody else kind of give us some ideas because we've not had 5 years of one person idea. 5 years. It has not worked in 5 years. It don't matter what players we got. We not had 1,000 players, and it's the same outcome. And whenever a coach say that we waiting for one player to get back, that means you're not a coach. Not at all. But we got other players. We got players who can replace Kawhi. We got players on the bench. Put Jordan Miller in the game. He could do the same. He could get the same points Kawhi can. So all that we waiting for superstar stuff. That's what a coach who's not a coach says that. That's because it keeps them from having the coach. Oh, I'm just waiting for the best player to come back. Oh, that's what we doing. We just doing what we doing, and then when our best player come back, what the hell? It ain't gonna really change much. Anyway, I digress.
You, you guys are killing me in the comments. Oh my god! Wow.
I
Yeah, I
think
mean,
you're
I
doing
don't even
pretty
read the
good
comments.
today,
I don't
dude.
even read. I just let
Yeah, I
like
don't
if
even
someone
read
say
the
battle. I don't
comments.
really like reading the comments.
Yeah, I don't do that either. I can't do two things at one time. I just be talking. I don't be reading. I can't talk and read.
Yeah.
Um, I'm gonna go soon. I have to eat that turkey leg. I hope I'm thankful for the channel. Thankful for everybody in the panel. Uh, Thankful for the Clippers. Watching the Clippers. Hopefully they win it this year, but I don't know. It's gonna be up to Kawhi health. And BJ, I'm gonna leave. So talk to you guys later.
All right, Bruce. Peace.
Hey,
Happy
appreciate you,
Thanksgiving.
bro. Happy Thanksgiving, bro.
Happy Thanksgiving, bro.
Yep.
Damn, BJ, I was hoping to bring some more people up here so they could talk crap, but we win and they don't never show up.
Yeah, they only come when we lose.
Yeah, they only come when we lose. Wow. Well, what's your views on that team? I'm gonna interview you.
Um, I think the brightest spot is the defensive end. I think the most consistent thing has been the defense. I think that's been what's keeping us in games. I think that's what's been able to, put. I mean, you look at it like we number 4 in defensive rating. That's telling you what's carrying us. Is carrying the team. It's the defense. It's not even. That's it. That's what's keeping us is the defense. If you're number 4 in defense, that's pretty much what you need to hang your hat on.
No, I agree. Remember last summer we was talking and they were saying through the off season, well, how y'all gonna win without a score? I was like, well, our defense we're gonna make points off of defense. That you're right. That our defense has been if it wasn't for our defense, man, we'd be like dead last. Like and that's sad to say, but it's true. I feel our defense has been well, they broke down against the Celtics. They got a break against the Wizards. we our
Against
defense got a break.
against high caliber teams, though, that defense ain't gonna be enough. Just simply that's why we looked the way we looked against Houston, against OKC, against Phoenix. those teams are the teams we're gonna have to see in the playoffs. Those are the teams that are the quality teams that you're going to have to see in the playoffs. Teams like Houston, uh, OKC, and Phoenix, who are great offensively and very good defensively. Your defense alone ain't going to be enough. And then you look at Boston, who's the cream of the crop. You saw what happened in that game. That's going to be a tough series if we face them, even with Kawhi there.
Yeah, we're gonna need to score. Teams like that, we're gonna still need to score. Like regular teams, our defense could get points for us, but when you come to our elite teams, like we got to put up points, and we could not put up no points against the Celtics. No, and then if we go against the Wizards, put up a whole bunch of points. Well, Wizards is a high school team. That's why I don't count that win. But you're right. That's the only thing I had problems with from the beginning. Like our offense. We the Suns teams like them and luckily for us the West is wide open. Minnesota not fell off. Denver not that strong, but you got Houston. They becoming the juggernaut.
Houston's a
So
problem. They're a problem.
yeah,
They're a
Houston's
problem.
a problem. So now we got to refocus on. We was focusing on teams with big men at first, right? Denver and Minnesota, all of them got big men. But now you got to switch the whole program to a bunch of kids who running out the gym.
Yeah. Yeah, Houston's a problem because they're not just the team. They well coached. They super
Plus
well
they got a
coached.
good coach. Yeah, they well coached. Yeah, a well coached bunch of kids, very well coached. So how do we do that? How you think we handle that?
Against Houston.
Yeah, 'cause I think they're gonna be the ones at the end of the day. I think they're gonna be the ones we gotta. I actually think Houston's gonna be the last team standing against us. So how would you defend against them?
Shit. Well, it's gonna have to come down to okay, defensively, they're better than us defensively, which is crazy, but they're a better defensive team than us, and they're a middle of the pack offense. So that's gonna be a series where it's tough, man, because Houston don't have a star like Kawhi, but they got bodies to throw at him. They got Dylan Brooks, they got Amon Thompson, they got um you know what I'm saying? That guy I think off the bench, Eton. They got players to throw and they got size and they have the coaching. They have the coaching scheme. So I don't know about that one. That's a tough one. And they're young and they athletic. See, a series like that, Harden was struggling. I mean, we saw it when they played us. Like he couldn't get his shit off. 2 straight games. That team has defense. They got youth. They have athleticism. They got they got everything. They check all the boxes. They just don't have the star yet that we've seen in the playoffs. So I mean, that's where Kawhi's going to have to be even Kawhi of old. That's going to have to be the Kawhi that MVP Kawhi in that series.
I totally agree, but but except for the part that Houston don't need a star, like they don't play like that. The coach built the team. Even when he was with Boston, he built Boston team. He didn't get the credit. He didn't get the ring like Tony Dungy built the Bucks, and then he left, and then old boy got the ring. He building a complete team. All of them players, for us, only way anyway. And I give them prayer. They my dark horse, believe it or not. I think Houston could actually go to the finals. I hope we don't have to face them. I really hope so. I hope we don't, because they are kryptonite. But only way if we was to face them, only way I could see we could beat them is start our youngins. We have to start the young team. The vetted by young team right now. If anything our coaching staff should be doing is looking at Houston and saying, yo, these are all young kids. There's not nobody over 30 on that team. They run completely and they well coached. They like vultures. So the only way I could see us combating them is if we let our young players start playing right now. because there's no really too many old teams, and that's why we the bottom five of offense to me because we got the oldest players in the league. Damn near 80% of the teams in the West they're young. So we got old ass Harden out there. I ain't calling him. I know he not old in real life. In real life, he not old, but in sporting, when you playing a bunch of 20-year-olds and you 30 something, that's a big problem. So but that's a good point. I just I think Houston is the dark horse, and I can actually see them coming out the West if we don't beat them. I think we the only one who capable of. We could beat everybody on the West. I'm gonna clarify it like this: we could beat anybody on the West except for Houston. Houston gonna be a fight.
So you're not looking at anybody else as a fight. You don't look at OKC as a fight. Phoenix.
Nah, no, not even Phoenix. Now, cause we got the personnel. The only thing they're gonna be. I'm sorry. Let me let you finish. My fault. I didn't know if you had stopped. Let me let you
No, no,
finish.
no,
My
no, no,
fault.
no. I was done. I was done.
Now I don't see. We got the players. Well, that's a tricky question too. And my answer to that is it's up to how whatever scheme type put in. Cause we got the players. We have the players to beat anybody in the West. It goes down. It goes down to me whatever Ty tell them to do. Cause we got the players. We got every last one of our players double digits easy. Every last one of them. There's not too many teams who got players like we got. Like we got three centers, 7 foot. We got all guards. Like we could wear down any team. We got big men. We got Kobe. We got the personnel. That all that matchup with any other team, I think it brought down a tie. But if Ty can figure it out, I'll give us the edge over any team in the West. Any last team. Houston is going to be a matchup of youth, speed, and I don't think if we start, that's about it. Like that's a different matchup to me.
Mm. Well, we're gonna see what happens this year, and I'm gonna get up off here, JM. I'm gonna get. I know it's a little bit unusual episode, but I definitely appreciate you coming on, man. You've been spot on with a lot of things of late, so I gotta give you your credit. You was the only one said that Clippers are gonna be doing well without Kawhi for the start of the season, and you've been standing on that. So I gotta give you that credit.
I'll give you that credit too, because you supported me and you believe and you said a lot of good things. And Law Murray, you've been interviewing, and I think if it wasn't Thanksgiving Day, it'd be more people to talk shit up here. But I guess it's a holiday. But me and you stayed pat. You stayed pat. You put a show on a holiday. So salute to you.
Oh man, appreciate you, man. We'll be live again on Saturday. So yeah, we'll be up here on Saturday again.
That's good. Cause we play the Wizards today, right?
We play the T Wolves tomorrow.
Oh yeah, T was tomorrow. That's right. We already played the Wizards, and that was a N Cup tournament. We
Yeah.
actually win it. Yeah, we actually doing good in the N Cup tournament. Believe it or not, we 2-0.
Yeah. No, we won in one, JM. We won in one.
What
Cause we
game we
lost.
lost?
You lost to Houston. Yeah.
That was the end game.
Yeah, I was in season tournament. Yep.
Oh, I didn't know that started that. Okay, well either way, well you enjoy your Thanksgiving. See you Saturday. Hopefully, get another win.
All right, brother. We'll talk later.
All right, one.
One. All right, man. Shout out to JM, man. Hey, people in the chat, man. JM, he is not a drink. He does not drink. He has a speech impediment. So I want to make that clear. He's not a drinker. He has a speech impediment. But like it or not, he's been on point with a lot of things this offseason. Very passionate Clipper fan. So gotta give him his props and respect. But I appreciate y'all chopping in with me, man. agree, disagree. I'm gonna make sure to be here for y'all for all holidays and certain occasions, man. Y'all don't know how much I really grind for y'all, man. Put much work I put for y'all in. But y'all keep me going. And even if it was for an hour and 30, I'm gonna make sure to put that type of work in. So I'm about to get in this shower, go get some food, hang out with the people, and we'll be back on, if not tomorrow night, Saturday morning. I actually have some more things to announce coming up in the community post. So make sure you guys, if y'all not subscribed, make sure you guys are subscribed to this podcast so y'all get the updates on what's going on in the community post. A lot of exciting things coming in. I just got a sponsorship with another sports network to write articles and stuff that I'll be posting also in my community post as well. Some more great coverage at the games that's going to be coming up this upcoming season in person. So y'all be in line for that, but you got to be subscribed. You got to share the podcast and things of that nature, man. But I appreciate y'all coming in. Until next time, pull up a seat, pull up a chair, put a live piece out of here like swim well.